live, I believe. Or most likely live. Welcome everyone to the show on Oscar Nominations Day. Oh, there's being Tim Robbins for some reason. Tim, whatever his name is. Alright. Hello, welcome everyone to Movie Crap Live. I will speak up, sorry. Hello and welcome. It is Oscar Nominations Day. Big day. There's people, I wait for it. I'm excited. I don't know. It's silly, but I get excited. But thank you and welcome to Movie Crap Live. I want to say hello to everyone who's here. Ricky, Super Dusky, Embla T, Cornbread, Sin Ram, hello in the house. Zane Powers, Pup, Javier Portello, Purple Goop, Reiki. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. Yes, and it is Oscar Nominations Day, and we're going to talk a lot about the overall thing and other stuff. And let me, Jordan Slawflow is here. Let me switch over. Hey, what's up? All right. We do have, I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Oh, thank you, Cornbread, by the way. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't say thank you earlier for the, reminding me to do that, but I did send them out. They should be sent out. I hope they're sent out because I hit post, so that's what it should be. Hey, it's been a week, as it always has been. You know, I will hold to talk about the Oscar nomination until that's like. I don't really have too many things. I guess the one thing, I didn't finish this movie. I didn't think I would. I will say I wasn't planning on reading it because I did open my laptop to do other shit. Hey, Austin's here. All was going on, but it was called The R.I.P. And I'm going to be honest, it was not very good. I was not into it. And I kind of, part of it was like when Ben Affleck and Matt Damon like have no chemistry. Like it's like you have all Steven Yeun, like Tiana Taylor, no chemistry at all. Which is weird. But then, like, I hate in anything where someone, oh, Bloxy Oxwiggle's here. I missed you last week. Almost as many notifications as Paul Blart Mall Cop. Awesome. There's nominations. I don't know why I say notifications. I'm sorry. Nomination. You know what? No one talks about Paul Blart Mall Cop 16. Anyway, cheers, shoot. This is the Rice Kool-Aid energy drink. It is cherry. Cornbread did guess the right drink, but the wrong flavor. So anyway, I don't know. Should I keep doing the energy drink clue? I feel like maybe that's not as cool anymore. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take a drink for you, Black Sox Uncle. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. Nico's down there. Okay. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I saw The R.I.P., as it's called. And yeah, it's Joe Carnahan is very serious, and I've also already seen a Ben Affleck Netflix movie. I reviewed it with the similar concept, but in this one, it's just like Matt Damon. They explain to you what a RIP is, which is like the money they get from a drug house, but then they keep saying the RIP. It's like people in your office who come up with an abbreviation and just start using it immediately, and you're like, why? Please don't use your weird slang around me. I don't. And Matt Damon's like, no, the RIP's throwing me off, guys. It's a RIP. And I was like, this is bad. And it sucks because it has so much going for it. But I just don't. I don't know. I kind of don't think. I think like they're good at the talking back and forth movies, and we don't really. No one wants to make those. But it's not very good. It was like, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. And I like a good action movie. I'm fine with a good action movie, but it's just not. Even the action stuff is just like, also like when you don't have the writing and stuff, when like action dudes arguing in an action movie, just not. Anyway, not a good movie. I know it's like this big Netflix thing. Hey, Alvescas, you are on time. I don't think there's anything much else. Just sort of catching up on stuff. All that stuff. Oh, the RIP. That was talking about the RIP. Um, am I out? Why is it? What is going on? YouTube is being very weird with me already. I couldn't even see my whatever. But yeah, just watching kind of stuff and living life, and I don't really have much else to say. I guess I'll just get real quick. The videos. I know the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 thing is really late. I am trying to just get stuff out because I realize then if I even if I'm late, like it just doesn't happen. I know that might feel like a silly one, but I know people are into that. But I thought it was a good review, and I like that one. That review, and I didn't want to not put it out. As well as we had, the Dilbert review, which people seem to like, and the that little short, which was just sort of a silly thing because I needed a little more time and all that stuff. I'm hoping Avatar will be next. I'm not sure if something will come out tomorrow or not because Avatar. I just feel like Friday's gonna work out. Although last Friday we got two things, and that's cool, but I can't do that every week, fortunately. But we'll see. It might be a short thing, and I'm working on a couple of other stuff. I forget what was Sunday. Something, something came out Sunday. Um, was it a short? I forget. Whatever. Oh, Iru, which was a surprise it didn't get nominated, but which was sad actually. I was surprised by both those, both the shorts I reviewed. Neither got picked, but both are like pretty popular, so it wasn't too bad. But it's also like I got to do videos on two shorts. So everyone's talking about R.I.P.D. or the Ryan Reynolds, Jeff Bridges movie. Everyone thought that was going to be a hit, and it was. I never saw it. And didn't they make a sequel or something somewhere? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they did. Um, where he ripped Pokemon packs. Is that true? Anyway, all right. Let's do the thing. Get into it. All right. This and everything I do is spurred by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show where I'll drink this awesome energy drink, and once we get to $20, I'll light up Godzilla lamp here. If we get $40, Godzilla will yell and stuff like that. Also, happy birthday to Izzy's right here. I need to text her, say happy birthday. Um, but you should say happy birthday. I think it's her birthday, unless Facebook is wrong. Um, but anyway, yes, the super chats which help. Where I'll drink this drink and read off your super chat and all that stuff very much helps support. Also, the Patreon, which is linked below, you get all sorts of cool things like postcards, the commentary series, which is exclusive to the Patreon, where I go through old cartoons like from Knock Force to Cletus to old stuff like that. You can have a ton of exclusive videos as well as um, my public access show movie stuff. It's the only way to watch those things is through the Patreon. If you are a member, more power in the movie review vote and all of that neat stuff. And then yes, if you're financially able to do so. If not, then just liking this video and subscribing always helps. If you want to have notifications on, do so. And all of that stuff. Thank you very much for watching. If you're just watching and you're not even liking or anything like that, and you don't even have a login, thank you for being here. I really appreciate the views. Either way, but if you can support in your own way, that is very appreciated also. And then we can yell the roar and the thing and all that stuff. Hey, Ryan Walterson's here. And yeah, there's something I was gonna add there. No. Anyway. All right. Then we have the oh, I know. Well, I'll say it after this. We also have the Discord, which is an amazing community. If you like everyone who is here in the chat right now, you can come join them on the Discord with all sorts of cool sections like the Suggestions for Jim channel, the Ask Jim channel. There's the licensed playing card thing. They do movie watches every week. Hello, Medela Butterfly. Which I believe there's one happening on Saturday. As well as it's just a wonderful community. You can talk about everything like movies, self promo, licensed playing cards. I have my Metro card playing cards. If you know what's going on in New York, there's no more Metro cards. You can't buy a Metro card. They'll honor it, but anyway, I have these now because I lost the Argyle cards. But then I found them. But I like these. I like these, and I'm glad the Metro card is over because I would have grabbed this, ran to the subway, and then been like, oh, it's a 4. Anyway, but the Discord is wonderfully run by Zane Powers Cornbread, Austin, and Ryan Walterson. I think those are did I get everybody? Anyway, if I Austin's name, I believe so. Anyway, the other thing is I would like to do a nominations breakdown thing. I originally was saying possibly Saturday. I don't think that isn't going to happen because one, I think it's going to be too busy, and two, I don't think when I do the nominations breakdown, I go through like everything, and I've literally only done 2 categories right now. I do not know because I want to get like videos out and do other things. I'm not sure, so I'll keep you posted. I will try to promote it, and you'll know. But I would say, keep your eyes open and stuff. I would like maybe in the next week, but we'll see. It'd be nice to do like an extra stream or something, and I'll just list off everything. But I did find one thing that I will talk about later. It is not too. If you tell me you do it, Super Dust, I'd like it before. However, hello, man. How's it going, Dan? I think, is everyone ready for this Winter Storm? That's the real question. Super Dusky, if you do, I will hit refresh on the page before questions. But if you're doing it past the I would say before the show, but I do hit refresh before. So if you need to message me, that's a different thing. It's the Birdemic of Hawkins. I haven't seen the blog. I guess you're talking about Reptar here. But I don't know. I almost grabbed I have a Moon Girl one now because Sophie didn't want this, so it's now with my stuff because I like that Moon Girl and it's still around. She still look at it. So I thought maybe, but maybe next time we're in the other room. Anyway, all right. Trying to think anything else. That Winter Storm, I'm a little worried about, to be honest. But we'll see. We really don't know. We're not going to know till Sunday. It's going to be interesting. Especially for New York. But yeah, Super Dusky, send in your super chats. What I'm saying. Sorry. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about. This is not going through every Oscar, but I do have one stat that is pretty insane, which I notice is not getting talked about as much. So first off, Sinners, and I'll go through them and give sort of a reaction also, but this is the general part. Sinners got 16 nominations. That is the most nominations of all time. Several people will say, oh, that's just because the new casting category. No, the previous record was 14 nominations. So even without the casting nomination, it would still have broken the record. Had there not been a casting category, that doesn't matter. Also, there's 3. Okay. The thing is with this, the Sinners nominations, is I want to point out something I found interesting. Is everyone's going to go, oh, it's like, I've heard the casting category excuse already. And there's 4 other most nominated films with the 14th thing. You had All About Eve, Titanic, La La Land. That's the one I'm just like, what the fuck? We really did that? Okay, it's on DM. Thank you. And then this, right? So here's the thing. I looked up, and the one that has the most like dubious, like these categories existed, is actually All About Eve, because several of them were like art direction, black and white, cinematography, black and white, production design, black and white, and then because they had production design black and white and production design color at that time. So if there's anyone that got like over nominated, you could make the case it's All About Eve. Although I would say it's All About Eve's like an all timer and would probably have gotten those nominations anyway. But if you wanted to make that argument, you could, for the only one other than like the fuck La La Land. Seriously, like that's too much. But if you're not doing that one, if you want to do, you could say All About Eve. But I actually think All About Eve would actually get best casting if that had existed, right? I don't know. Best casting is a very big question. Austin says some Dick Tracy villain tried to ruin Warren. Cheers to you, Austin. Were we talking about Dick Tracy? I'm confused. Anyway, cheers to you. Okay. So other big ones, One Battle After Another, also got 13 nominations, which would be the Sinners thing. I think overwhelmed everything because people are like, "Holy shit! Like, how is Sinners like has these legs that no one expected?" It's a vampire blues movie. Like, this is crazy, which makes it fun. I think it is one of the few audience hits that's really been an Oscar hit in a while. right now, all predictions are going to be like Sinners just sweeps everything. I mean, I don't think it's going to win every action category. I think it could win two of them, but also like a lot can change in a month, in the over month about a time between nominations day and the actual ceremony. So like we're more than a month away, almost kind of 2 months. So I do think there's a lot that can change, and I think Sinners um we'll see there. But anyway, the other ones that got a lot of nominations is One Battle After Another, got 13. That means basically I believe Warner Brothers got 30 nominations. Paramount didn't get any, which is not really surprising this past year. Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, and Sentimental Value got 9 apiece. And the other multiple nominees, which got 5, which are also up for Best Picture, are Begonia, F1. Did F1 get 5? I didn't realize that. Hamnet, The Secret Agent, and Train Dreams. Um, I F1 was a surprise for me. I think because one, uh, the momentum of how people feel about F1. I don't really understand what. Well, Embla Primate is next year. It'll obviously sweep. Come on. Um, isn't Primate currently the highest grossing movie of 2026? If we're doing in calendar. Anyway, isn't it? Did 28 years later the Bone Temple beat it? But anyway, I do. Where was I? No, I was surprised by F1. I think it's just like a solid. I didn't see it, but from my understanding, a solid blockbuster. Um, and I think that they seem to be okay with. I'm a little like I would have much rather had. If we're gonna do a solid blockbuster, I think K-pop Demon Hunters or Superman or even Weapons should have been in there over that. I just think it I don't know. I'm like F1, like is it that I don't know. Maybe now I'll see it. I'm a little like we'll see. I was surprised like no Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love. I thought that film really needed that nomination publicity wise and didn't get it. Chase Infinity, I think there was a lot of hype around her, and I know they competed her for lead, not supporting, which I think was like maybe not the greatest move ultimately. Other kind of random things I found is Amy Madigan, who's nominated for Aunt Gladys from Weapons. The last time she was nominated is 1986. I did not write down which film that was, but if I get to do a breakdown, I will. But that's kind of cool. Her first nomination in 40 years. Uh, I think she's the one who had the longest between uh, uh, nominations in any of the acting categories. I don't. Maybe there's someone who's nominated since then, um, but yeah, and Chloe Zhao is only the second woman to be nominated twice for Best Director. Um, and actually, every acting court category had someone from a foreign film, which is like the first time that's ever happened. I also found out Delroy Lindo is British. Didn't know that. Didn't. I don't know. Maybe I knew that before, but I forgot. Um, and the only real, I mean, the big animation thing, and I'll just go through. This is just my random thoughts. I want to say at the beginning here. Most of the animation category was expected. I think Elio was a mistake, because of how they took out all like the big gay stuff. Basically, I don't think it should have been nominated. You basically let Pixar go. Oh, we got away with it. We got away with it. We cut out the gay stuff. We made it didn't do great at the box office, but we still got our Oscar nomination. I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, why did we? Elio as a movie isn't bad, but like the what they just let Pixar get away with, it's really shitty. Like I know everyone thinks like I mean I if a kid's just watching it, I don't think they're complicit in that, but I do think Disney and Pixar and the Academy are in this. I just like the fact that they cut it down and did this and like we're still able to get their standard nomination. I think is bullshit. I don't feel that way about Zootopia 2, which is a huge hit and is better than we hear people talk about. I honestly think we under talk about Zootopia 2 based on its quality. I mean, like Zootopia 2 uh compared to like Avatar 3 is like big difference there in terms of quality. Um, but it's also like, yeah, like Pixar just always gets a pass. It's the most nominated studio. This was not the year to give it to them. It really just like, and especially like there are already articles saying, why are we not doing, they should focus on anime. This was the anime year. We had Demon Slayer. I don't think Demon Slayer should have been nominated, but I didn't see it. To be fair to Demon Slayer, I did see Chainsaw Man, and I think that was better than Alien in a lot of ways. I thought that was a good movie. It would be fun to say Oscar nominee Chainsaw Man. Like, it's fun when people laugh when they're listing the nominees. Like, that's fun. I don't have the problem with the other nominees, which we'll get to. Although it is funny to say best animated feature nominee Natalie Portman because she helped produce Arco, and then the same thing with Tig Notaro helped produce one of the documentaries, so she got an Oscar nomination as well. Natalie Portman's obviously been nominated before, but it's just such a weird category. And I think Kate Hudson was a surprise. I talked about how that movie everyone thought was going to be a big Oscar thing, and it just like wasn't at all. It really wasn't getting any momentum, and then she swooped in and got a nomination. Good for the movie I'm forgetting its name of, which I'm sure people will correct me in the chat. But I know that had been like the studio and a lot of movie press were like, this is going to be the big, silent hit of the summer. Didn't take off at all, or of the winter. Sorry. And now finally she got her nomination. So it feels like they're a little vindicated in their thinking there. Maybe that'll start to pick up afterwards. In other interesting Oscar things, we had Emma Stone is the second youngest person and youngest woman to get 7 nominations. Also, first woman to be nominated twice for both producing and acting. That's not something that happens a lot in general, but I think she's tied with Disney was younger than her when he had his 7 nominations, and did a lot less work for those. So I think that I mean, probably. But Emma Stone, that's crazy for her. Timothy Chalamet gets 3 nominations for lead actor. He's the youngest one since Marlon Brando. But Brando actually went for his 4th nomination, which was after that. So we'll see. What were the 3? It's like, because he won for On the Waterfront? I don't know. And Wagner Moura is the first Brazilian actor nominated for Best Actor ever. That's never happened before. And then Jerry Bruckheimer got his 2nd nomination. He was nominated before for another Joseph Kosinski film, Top Gun, Top Gun Maverick. So it's interesting. Jerry Bruckheimer is now a double Oscar nominee. Josh Safdie, the Safdie brothers had not been nominated before, I believe, unless there's some statistic, but Josh Safdie had never done, and he just got 4 for editing, writing, directing, and producing. And then it was Twice in a Lifetime was the Amy Madigan thing, unless somebody said that. That was her previous nomination for supporting. She just got into it for supporting. And the other things, a lot of people were surprised by the Wicked thing. I was a little surprised, and it did feel like, I know they nominate in different, like, the cinematography people don't vote on the acting when they do the nomination stuff, but it did honestly feel like at a certain point with these, they were just like, they had a certain list of movies and they're checking them off and stuff, which didn't feel as interesting in a lot of ways. So I think that hurt a film like Wicked, and Avatar only got really 2 nominations, which isn't surprising. I think we were like, oh, people are sick of the Avatar stuff. I just don't think it was as good. And I think, it is weird that this is the first, Cameron's last 3 films, he's gotten some nominations, in this one, or Best Picture, Titanic, Avatar, and Avatar 2. And it is surprising, but like, he's fine. I don't know if like there is going to be any more Avatar. It seems like there's a lot of question, and this put more of a question on that. And then there was a lot of talk of Park Chan-wook. I sort of think with his film and him, what happened to him with the WGA, I think is hurting him more than we're giving Hollywood. We're acting like that was not a thing for them. And I just don't, I do think that hurt him getting banned from the WGA for nominating there. So I'm not like, I have noticed that's not brought up a lot, but like the guilds have a lot of power, as well as like, I think it pissed people off from my understanding when it happened. I noticed it doesn't come up a lot, but I feel like that hurt him. However, it is a really strong international feature year. Um, and I think that hurt it as well, but I do think that's a factor. I know nobody's saying that, but to me it's like that was a pretty big Nico's like walking all over the okay, please don't go on the sink, Nico. Come on. And we're not gonna scratch me this show. She scratched me kind of bad. Okay, I'm gonna grab this cat and then I'll just go through everything. And any super chats of course would be appreciated. I gotta say that, you know. Hold on. One. No. Don't go in the sink. Don't go in the sink. Hello. Okay. You're gonna go. Okay. Okay. Nico's very much a live stream cat. It seems. I don't see pup. How the fuck did you get back there? Okay, don't play with the light. Are you like? Do you have a death wish? What's going on with you? Okay. Hold on, guys. Oh, we got two there. Okay, I'll be right back. I will be. I'll answer the Marty Supreme. Okay. Nope. Go away. Yep. Okay. Hey, Norbert's here. Okay. Sidran, why the WGA ban for Park Chan-wook? He was writing the show, the Robert Downey Jr. show. He was doing during the strike was found. He was, I think a lot of people were, but he was doing it a little more open or something. And him and his collaborator were kicked out. Like they were straight up kicked out for that. So that is why. Cheers to you, Sinram. Sorry. George Hoons, how likely is it you'll be reviewing Marty Supreme? Is likely in the review shot. The only reason, and I have to shoot a bunch of other reviews. I have a lot of reviews in the can right now. It's more just like when I get to do them, I think it was like Avatar, and then I was going to try to do, because I did a double feature. I should have mentioned at the beginning. I did a double feature of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple or whatever, and All You Need Is Kill. And there's a bunch of stuff, and so, but I think Marty Supreme will be sooner rather than later. Apologies that I don't know, just finding the time. Basically, I would like to get more of them out, but it'll be soon. But that one is shot. And I saw it and all that stuff. Cheers to you. And thank you all for the super chats. I really appreciate any support. All right. What is going? Okay. All right. YouTube is being. I don't know. I think is there a way? I feel like it's the AI crap that's making all this weird. All right. I'm gonna just go through this on my phone just because anytime I go through it on the computer that I'm streaming on, shit gets weird. As we can attest to. All right. Where were we? Okay. So I'm just gonna go through from Best Picture. There we have. Here's the Best Picture nominees. We have Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another. I feel like you just said that weird. The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. The only ones I haven't seen: Sentimental Value, Secret Agent, Hamnet, and F1, and I guess I haven't seen majority of them. It seems like an all right list. I am a little surprised by. I don't know. I'm surprised by F1. I'm surprised how much. I'm a little not surprised, but surprised by all the support of Begonia. Oh my god. You kittens are a little wild today. Let's not play on the lights, Pebbles. Alright, you're just going to be up there? Yeah, I'm just going to... Okay. Grifters are going to griff wet dry diapers for Sinners winning. That's true. I mean, of course. Choose you. I had someone respond to my... what's it? Dilbert thing and go like, because the real people who are doing violence, and I'm like, I'm not even pretending the liberals are doing any violence, bro. Not even. Anyway, cheers to you, Mr. Silver. Appreciate it. And thank you for being here as well. But I right now it does feel like we're talking about the sinners versus one battle after another seems to be um the narrative, and I think that's what will continue. Best, I'm just kind of scrolling through the Academy site. Let's see, we have, okay, I'll just do this. Best visual effects, we have Avatar F1, Jurassic World Reboot, Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. Again, I am a little, Jurassic World Rebirth didn't, I mean, some of those dinosaur designs were a little interesting, but it's like, I feel like we could have, I don't know, I am a little surprised by the lack of Superman in certain ones. Like, to me, like uh uh best casting or something like that. I don't know. It's just the Lost Bus. I know they're really Apple was positioning, and that didn't work out. Avatar is expected, and I think might win that, but because it's Avatar and very impressive, and might as well. I mean, I could see it going to Sinners too. We'll do the writing. I'm sort of, the Academy has this laid out a very weird way. I might just do the writing and then I'll go back up. For writing adapted, it's vampires represent Disney / capitalism. What? FD Signifier said that? I I get what he means by that. I think I watched that video. Here's the thing. Cheers to you, Mr. Silver. Yes, I think it just is American white culture in general. But I'm also like, I've heard that argument and I agree to a point. But like, I look at it more as he's a business guy. He did not he didn't create Black Panther. You know what I mean? He doesn't own the rights to that. And I think it's more like he looked at it and goes, well, I mean, let's be real about this. What happened to the creator of Black Panther? Is that not Jack Kirby? How's that estate going? They ain't getting a lot of money from that. And I think like naturally he probably looked at it and go, oh well fuck, I better like actually own my shit. Because look what happened to Jack Kirby. You know? We all like the Jack Kirby thing, I think, has such ramifications, turned intellectual property that people do not understand. That's why I'm always like, Stanley should have just like owned up to it at the end or something. Because like give us some sort of a end, and he never did because he's a prick. But like I think that is more to do with it. But I understand that like, yes, it represents capitalism. I think it represents American culture and white culture and all those things. But I think like, is it Disney? I think his decision to do that probably had to do with Disney. But I don't think he was like, well, I created this. But because obviously like he doesn't I think he's smart enough to understand he doesn't own Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like he owns a version of it, but like any of these characters, you own it and then you move on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I kind of. Anyway, I remember watching that, but I do think like if you work on a comic book thing, and I've read so many things about that, you have to be very aware that the person who created it um is getting fucked over. Like how many stories I've heard? Apparently I have learned, was it Sebastian Stan apparently is responsible for more comic creators coming to after parties than anybody. So everyone's like, yeah, Sebastian Stan, I texted him, he let me in. I've heard that from a couple people. I'm not sure like the deal with that, but he does come on. I don't think he's a fraud, but anyway. I think that's a interesting interpretation, but I don't think it's Disney necessarily. I think that was a part of it and like what his cultural footprint and what it was used. But anyway, oh wait. Talking about document. The writing adapted is interesting. I do think, if anything, that is probably one battle after another's, at least right now. Let's see. Best original screenplay is Blue Moon. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I would most likely say that Sinners to lose there. Again, like there wasn't anything I can think of to counter it. I would really want to go through all that. I think Coogler, like, this is his coming out thing. It's crazy. They got the most time. Before this, His nominations were for like writing that Rihanna song from Wakanda Forever and producing Judas and the Black Messiah. He did not have his nominations for like writing and directing, which is like what you'd think he would have at this point. So I think it is very deserved. And I think they're like, I also think this like sort of like I'm not going to say it's an overcorrection, but the multiple nominees is also because like they ignored Creed pretty hard. They ignored, like what Michael B should have gotten a best actor for that. I also think Michael B should have gotten a nomination for best supporting for Black Panther. I also think, Coogler, if there's any Marvel director who should have gotten that, possibly him, stuff like that. And I do think like, especially this younger academy is very against, seems not as into the franchise fair as anyone else. Oh yeah, this is my one Oscar thing. So F1 is often called F1 the movie. And if anyone can figure this out, this is like if Ryan Walters is still here, this is a very much a Ryan Walters question. If F1 the movie, is that the first time a movie that has the movie in the title has been nominated for Best Picture? I sort of think it is. Because Superman the movie isn't. The Muppet movie isn't, which is bullshit right there. And I can't think of any others that had the movie that got nominated for Best Picture. So anyone, I'm pretty sure, but whatever. I think Shaka King's developing things. I have no clue what happened to that guy. So Best Actor in a Leading Role, we have Timothy Chalamet. This is one I want to talk about here. Timothy Chalamet, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, Wagner Moura, and then Leonardo DiCaprio. There's been a lot of talk. I mean, obviously, this is Ethan Hawke's first lead nomination. He has 2 for writing. He has 2 for supporting. And then he has 2 for... Yeah, but that's not Best Picture. That's what I'm saying. But Sean, that is true. Because I think Muppet Movie got a Best Song nomination. But anyway, Leonardo DiCaprio, and I wrote this down if I do get to do the nomination breakdown. Oh, but it's just Barbie, though. It's not Barbie the movie. Is it Barbie the movie? I thought okay, maybe you're right. So, okay, what's it? Leonardo DiCaprio. This is his 6th lead nomination. He is now tied with 3 other actors for most nominations for lead. That's Daniel Day-Lewis. He has as many lead actor nominations as Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Mooney, who was the original Scarface, a great classic Hollywood actor, and then Richard Burton and Leonardo DiCaprio. That's who has 6 nominations. So that is an insane stat that he has as many as Daniel Day, as Paul Mooney, as Richard Burton. But I was like, that makes total fucking sense to me. Like, he is that kind of actor. So I thought that was a wild statistic. I get why everyone, like, Sinners should get the conversation today, but that is an extra conversation that Leonardo DiCaprio is now on that plane. Like, he is tied with those guys. I think in most of our minds, he is that. But, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. That's the only category I've gone through. But I thought that was a crazy stat. Isn't that a crazy stat? I think it is. Anyway, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, we have Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi. I think the Jacob Elordi is very deserved. Delroy Lindo, very long in the making there. I'm sure Sean Penn, I don't know what nomination this is, but I know he's won Best Actor twice. I don't know if he's done Best Supporting before. Anyway, I'm curious. And Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. This one's very much up in the air. I think if there's anyone, Elordi's just happy to be nominated. But he did a great job. He deserves it. Best Actress, I think he's the only one from Frankenstein who got a nomination. Mia Goth should just get one for, like, being perfectly cast. Actress in a Leading Role, you have Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Kate Hudson, Renette Renzel, I guess. And then Emma Stone. Don't have any real. I think it's Jessie Buckley's right now. That's true, Serum. He doesn't do. I think his last supporting was Gilbert Grape. Actress in a supporting role is Elle Fanning, which was good for her. She's had a good year. Igna, it's daughter Lolas, good for her. Amy Madigan. Wamnu Masaku, I think, from Sinners. She's the other British actor in here, and then Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. All right, So animated feature, you have Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Again, I do think Elio could have been gone. I think it should have been. You could have put one of the animes in there. I don't know if Nausea 2 was up for this year or another year. Oh, thank you, Super Kirby Dude. How's it going, man? Yeah, this is a shirt. I always feel like I'm not really a gamer, but I do play this about once every week, every 2 weeks with my daughter. So I feel anyway. I'm always like nervous about wearing video game shirts. But cheers to you, Super Kirby, dude. Appreciate it. I think anime it just wasn't a strong selection. It's not a strong selection. Um, and then we have best anime. So best anime short. I want to announce this now. We are doing retirement plan tonight. I definitely I looked on YouTube to see what I could find and just rip immediately because it's going to get taken down. So I know I have another one now. I forget which one. Is it Butterfly or the Three Sisters? I forget. Um. Uh. But I have two animated short nominees I'm going to review, and then a best live action short as well. So expect those. I think the live action short is when if I get to that. Casting we have. Hold on, Mr. Silver said K-pop Demon Hunters Sinners crossover more Oscar beat Disney. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I am sad. Also, Ryan brings up the Day of the Earth blew up. That didn't happen. I mean, in a way, it is kind of Disney did not have a great year this year, and I think K-pop Demon Hunters really showed up them, and then Sinners as well as like a director they helped make into a huge success. So, anyway, cheers to you, Mr. Silver. Thank you for your generosity. So best casting. I don't think anyone understands why these are nominated because they're all Best Picture nominees. In my mind, the one category I am a little like I think Superman could have been up for that uh is casting because that's like kind of one of those stories that's going to be talked about forever. The casting story of like Nicholas Hoult and stuff, and people are like, "Oh, it's not the best story or something. It's how hard it was to cast." I'm like, "How the fuck you know that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. I, I'm a little confused about this one. Like, this is like very weird, and I'd like it to be properly explained to us. Uh stuff like that, or yeah, someone brought up who brought Emblet brought up if I had legs I'd kick you. I agree with that one too. Like, why wasn't that in there? I don't know. But I mean, good for casting directors. That is cinematography. Again, a bunch of ones you've heard before. Train Dreams was beautiful. Sinners, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Frankenstein. I'm a little surprised Avatar didn't get in there. I think Frankenstein has a shot, but Sinners as well. I do believe I haven't looked up, but I'm pretty sure most of the female cinematographers who've ever been nominated are ones from Coogler movies. Because up until like the last 10 years or something, there'd never been a female nominee in that category, and that has changed thankfully. But like things like costume design, the only one. Okay, I want to say a costume design. You have Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. A lot of these, I feel like I'm just listing off the same fucking names over and over again. It's really boring. Directing, you have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson, Jacques Comtier, Seminole Value, and Sinners, Ryan Coogler. I think only one's been nominated before Paul Thomas Anderson and Chloe Zhao, but if I ever do a breakdown, I'll do more into that. Film editing again, it's like the only one that's different is F1 is that it's Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners. Um International, you have The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Surat, and the voice of Hanad Rajab. Uh and live action, I have two people exchanging saliva. I have that one. So we'll be talking about that. The only one I'll give it up, let's give it up though, to makeup and hairstyling, because they actually did not just pick the same couple movies. They had Frankenstein, okay, not proving my point here. Kokoyo, I guess, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I love makeup and hairstyling. Y'all always pick weird shit. Like, it's always like, why Suicide Squad in here? They all more of these should act like makeup and hairstyling. I like the random like what is this? What, I don't even know what one of these is. Like, this is great. Like, let's do more of that. I want more of that. I don't want these like I'm repeating the same things. It's making this boring. Make this more fun for me. Um Musical score, you have Begonia, Frankenstein, Alexander I should get through because I do have other news. I just want to go through these. Johnny Greenwood got a nomination, Ludwig Göransson. And then we'll just do original song and then we're done. I know there was some talk that Miley Cyrus got snubbed, but that Avatar song was I don't know. It's like whatever. But Dear Me, which is a movie about Diane Warren getting another nomination. I don't like Diane Warren music. Very little of it is very good. I do not understand why people like claim she's really great. Like she just makes a lot of crappy ballads that like, play on the target and then I ignore it and go, "Oh wait, there's music playing when the song's over." So I do not understand this like obsession of her, and she's not going to win and it's like whatever. I think it's probably going to be Golden, which got a nomination as well as I Lied to You from Sinners. And then Sweet Dreams of Joy from this movie Viva Verde, which again, like it that we're nominating weird stuff in here because only two of these were nominated. I think the only best picture are this and Train Dreams, which is a song by Nick Cave. So now Nick Cave can get as an Oscar nominee. I don't know if that's happened before. That's another one people were ignoring. Um, I do want to do Razzies as well, but I feel like we just listed off a bunch of stuff. But I don't know. I do think like I wish they'd mess around a little bit more. I think that would make this much more interesting. It gets a little boring when I'm just saying the same 5, 6 movies over and over again. But congrats to the ones that got nominated. I'm happy about Sinners. I do think it's probably the film of this year that's going to be remembered on and on. I think people are going to get weird about it in the next month. People were weird when Sinners was out in theaters, and then they got less weird, and then they can be weird all over again. We all see what it's going to do. I noticed Variety didn't do anything stupid, so congrats, Variety. 100% you're going to be brought up on Oscar night as one of the dumbest moves I've seen anyone do. like, like holy crap! I don't know. I mean, it's all Jay Penske, and he owns like every trade publication and stuff. But like, anyway, no, Sinners was nominated. Res. All right, let's talk about a few other things. Let's hit the thumbnail and move on. The Masters of the Universe trailer. So obviously, I think you all know I've been a Masters of the Universe fan since I was like 3 years old. I was a kid when that was a big thing. I saw the original Dolph Lundgren movie in theaters. I was not wanting anything more movie wise, and when this trailer came out and the teaser for the teaser trailer yesterday and all that, I did see all the negative reaction to it and stuff. My thing with He-Man is it's cool that I like it. I don't think my kids would be that into it. Maybe if they want to come when I see it, that's cool. But I do think this this trailer looked fine. It looked just like a big budget He-Man movie would. I'm glad it focuses more on Eternia. I do not need another He-Man hangs out on Earth thing. And it looks like they're at least having fun with the Earth stuff, like the his name with the he him on it is an obvious He-Man joke. I know the right-wing people got all upset because they're pronouns. I actually thought it should say he/man as a cute pronouns joke, but that doesn't make any sense because no one would have pronouns like that. But I do think that would be funny. But the he him thing for like that's a good joke. I like that. Anyway, I thought it was funny, but the conservative people would be like, why is the woke got in? It's like, dude, this is like anyway. It's also funny because like He-Man, all throughout the 2000s, people were like, this is like the gayest show in existence. Like it was like always pushing how gay that show was. So I think it's funny. I think it's funny. People are like, they're ruining masculinity and all this stuff. But it's like the gay show? All right, I guess. This is what you're. This is the hill you're dying on. All right, I guess. It's like what about that meme with all the rainbows and He-Man looks like he's jerking off and stuff? Like, I just don't understand it. Anyway, I forgot it's Travis Knight. Yeah, Travis Knight is very, very good at doing the '80s thing. It did look fun. You know what's funny? I forgot about it's coming out on Pride Month, Ryan. There's too many puns in that. No, don't. Come on, Ryan. Come on. What he woke. Sorry, don't make me laugh. No, Nathaniel Fogger brought up. Sorry, brought up. Travis Knight. I forgot about that, but he is good at that. Anyway, I had fun with the trailer. But I was like, this is a movie for me to just watch and have a few beers. This is maybe not. I'm very confused at how they will get anyone other than me. But I did say, like, I did see tweets where, like, this is for nobody under 40. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's That's accurate. I'm over 40. So, yes, I would say that is true. No one under is. I don't think it is for anyone under 40. I did like the casting of Tila and all. Like, yeah, I'm a little into it, but I am also like, I understand that like they waited too long. And, but I'm also like, I don't know. But it didn't like the special effects weren't that crazy. So, didn't realize, you know what? The Travis with the Oscars and everything, I didn't realize I am talking about two Travis Knight things. I did see the Wildwood announcement. Since we're talking about that, I'll scroll down here if you don't mind. It's coming out October 23rd. I hope it works out better for him this time. Um, it's an okay month. I don't know. We'll see. Um, will this movie be a success? Master Universe. I think it's gonna be tough, but it's in a part of the summer. First off, cheers to you, Zane Powers. Um, Basically, once you hit the Odyssey Spider-Man part of this summer, you're not you're it's over. Basically, they're just gonna play all of August. Like, just don't play around. It is coming out earlier June, even before Supergirl, so it's not a bad date. Particularly because the hype around Mandalorian Grogu is not good, as you all probably noticed. So I do think there's an opportunity, but I think like Supergirl, we'll see, and I'm probably forgetting some June stuff as well. But like I think it has a chance. Will it? We'll see. But it has more of a chance than you think you'd believe. But like after the Odyssey and Spider Man, summer's over. So like they really got to make that money before those two hit. I don't know the whole summer slate super well. I just know like May's kind of a lot drier than I expect until Mandalorian and Grogu. So, but I might actually re-review the original '80s Master Universe movie because I did it for the rough cuts or something. But I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, I think it could work in the summer based on release date. But again, like I don't have that release date in front of me. If anyone wants to counter, that's fine. But to me, my understanding, it's not as crazy. Okay. And I haven't heard as many people bring this up, but to me, it is a big story. The Mystery Science Theater was sold to Radical Media, which is essentially that's Shout Factory. They're they own 50%, and they're basically completing their purchase of Mystery Science Theater, which up until last week, I think it happened on Friday, was an independent production. They owned the rights to it. Comedy Central didn't own any rights to it because Joel had a good manager. It was jointly owned before by Alterniversal, which was his production company, but I think Joel needs to step back. I know people said I heard a lot of shit about the post-COVID Mystery Science Theater world, and I was like, yeah, but like we had I actually think that season, what was it, season 13 with Munchie and whatever number that is, sorry, and all of that stuff and Emily coming in. I think that was a solid season. I would actually say it's better than the second Netflix season. So I was a little disappointed to see people just shitting on the post-COVID Mystery Science Theater because it's like we had a really good like run there. I mean, I know there wasn't I didn't get to go to the tour and all that stuff, but anyway, anyway, I do think, but apparently they are considering making more of them. There is no word on, even though the picture on their site, not on their site, but on various sites, feature Emily, Joel, and Jonah. There is no real, no indication if they're getting new people or what the idea is or what's going to happen with it. But I do think like this is, I hope, a good move. They are the people who are mostly promoting Mystery Science Theater. I believe they run the YouTube channel. They run the what are called the fast channels. That's like the things on Pluto and other services. But I hope they are able to, if they make new ones, to promote them better because I do feel like although those episodes were good, the release of them was on their own streaming service not the greatest idea, and I think like you really need to figure it out. So I hope they're able to do that. I hope they let Emily at least come back, and maybe Jonah too. But apparently Joel will help out and sort of be like the George Lucas or something, which he deserves. Um, but I was a little sad because it is like an independent production. It's been an independent production for the whole time. Like they've had the ownership, and he sold it, but I think it's like most of everyone, like Trace and Frank, were like, Joel's not a good business person. This is a good idea. So I think I think it had to end at some point. I do hope we get another tour. I hope they do something with it. No news on that, but it has sold to what is now called Radical Media at this time. So obviously, I'm going to talk about that and talk about my feelings about that. So I also would like Mike to come back. I think the one nostalgia Mystery Science Theater is not used at all is Mike Nelson, and like figure that shit out. Oh, thank you, Steve Master. How's it going? I didn't know you were here. What will Joel's strange magic be then? I would love it if he did it. If he has like a Shout Factories, cheers to you, Zane Powers. Um, yeah, I think they do. I mean, if they continue, it'd be cool. All right, let's talk about a few more things. Then we'll do RAZZIE. We might go long tonight based on there's a lot of news. There's a lot of news. We're close, but not quite at $20 cornbread. But thank you for keeping. But I won't. I'm not trying to scam nobody. Just I like to be, I don't know. Anyway, this is I think the funnest news that I saw this whole week. Kenan and Kel. Oh, thank you, Revok998. Or is it just Revok because the weird numbers? I'm not sure if these are people's number. I don't the number thing. Fucking YouTube. All right, the Kenan and Kel news is my favorite news of this week. They've announced a new Kenan and Kel movie called Kenan Kel Meet Frankenstein. That is a great idea. I think it is wonderful. I don't think they'll be playing the Good Burger people, but we don't know. There is no, by the way, no director attached to this right now. But the log line is two delivery drivers whose routine drop off takes a terrifying turn when they arrive at a creepy, out of place castle and accidentally awaken Frankenstein's monster. I'm glad they got that accurate. Turning an ordinary night into a fight for survival. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm very down for this movie. Just overall a great idea. It like literally like just I love that. Oh, just Revok is fine. Sorry about that. It just really I'm down for Kenan and Kel Meet Frankenstein. That sounds like a great idea. I really hope they meet Jacob Elordi's Frankenstein. You know what? I would love if Jacob Elordi shows up in Kenan and Kel Meet. I think he has the sense of humor to do it. So all right, let's. What? Sorry, now I'm like all over the place. How about we do a few more and then we'll do Razzies? I'm just trying to like give space between me just listing off numbers and stuff, and then we have the box office. There's the Darth Maul or Maul, but who loves orange soda? I do. I always think that. All right, now we will turn on. We'll turn on that Godzilla. Cheers to you, Austin. Thank you very much for the super chat. And then this Final Focus says modern day Abbott of Costello type beat. It is. I'm fine with like comedians doing that sort of thing. I think it would be a good way to bring comedies back because I think it works the same way K-pop Demon Hunters, because like what are you watching? And it's fun to say funny titles. I think Hollywood needs to get more into that. But cheers to you. All right, the Darth Maul show or Maul Shadow Lord, which I was going to talk about Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know how much I will because there's so much to talk about. This is like a thing, but Dave Filoni's new show about Darth Maul Shadow Lord and his Clone Wars version of Darth Maul comes out in April on Disney Plus. It looked fine. His whole Clone Wars animated universe is a thing I never fully got into. I'm always like, maybe one day, but I just have never done it. So I've heard it's good. The stuff I've seen from it, I've liked and stuff like that. But it looked fine. It's not my kind of design though. The design is like kind of clunky. So I do think I might review that Star Wars animated movie that went to theaters for Clone Wars when Mando and Grogu comes out because I've never seen it, and I thought, hey, now's the time. It's the only one I haven't watched, I guess. Okay, yeah, we'll do these things and then Razzies, and yeah, might go a little late. Apologies. This is actually really cool. There's going to be a documentary about UPA called Animation Mavericks: The Forgotten Story of UPA. It will come out at the end of this year. If there is any animation studio that deserves a documentary so more people can talk about it, it is UPA. You would not have Gendy style on Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and all that without UPA. It is a hugely influential animation studio from Gerald McBoing Boing. Mr. Magoo doesn't age super well, but the I do think it's an important thing. There needs to be a documentary. I'm excited for it to learn more. I have the box set that TCM sort of put out, and we watch that semi regularly. But UPA is like a very underrated studio. In fact, I should maybe like I definitely every Halloween think about should I review the Telltale Heart thing they did? I should probably review Gerald McBoing. But if this comes out this year, how about I'll review Gerald McBoing? I guess I'm not reviewing Brother Bear. Man, that I didn't talk about the Snow Bear thing, but I saw people in the chat because I watched a live stream of the nominations. A lot of Snow Bears. I think people wanted Snow Bear. It was bigger than people realize. And I know this is the biggest news. This is like everyone wants me to talk about this. Is oh yeah, No Neck Joe does have a UPA influence. Those guys really like UPA, McCracken and Gendy, and they did. Mamma Mia 3 is going to be directed by Paul Feig. That's honestly not too surprising. But you know, it always works out when that guy does the sequel. Everybody loves it. So I'm sure I want to see the Ghostbusters afterlife. Mamma Mia movies. That turns 10 years this year, and I'm really curious if there's anybody reception or I don't think those are good. This is a good movie, but you know, anyway. Let's see what else. Oh, Netflix and the Warner's deal is so happening. Why are we even pretending it's not? They doing an all cash thing. And they have changed their mind about theatrical, as a lot of industry insiders said, because we had Warner's has a lot of great executives who understand how and the amount of money they're making off of Warner Brothers. Almost everyone thought they were going to change their mind about a lot of the things they were saying when they initially bought it, and surprise, surprise, they did. Because a lot of people originally they were like, "We'll put all this on Netflix," and then I think they went, "Wait, how much? How much are we going to lose if we do that? We're gonna wait. Sorry, I'm sorry. What we would lose? How much? We what? That just what? And like, cause like they handle a huge amount of television distribution. The unscripted thing is insane. Like they have so much money coming in from various sources. Like you just turn that off, you devalue the company. I think like somebody had a talk with them, and they went, "Oh, fuck." You know, I think they just like from almost everyone expected them to change their mind, and they did. And I think good on them for doing it. I think ABBA has enough songs. ABBA, you could make 17. ABBA's got a lot of songs. All right, you can keep doing the Mamma Mia's. Um, you know, but yeah. Okay, other stuff. JJ Abrams movie, his follow up to uh Rise of Skywalker, I guess, called The Great Beyond, has been dated for November 23rd. That is a pretty big slot. I think it's because he's a huge director, and I'm sure his agent slash ego wouldn't let him not have a big date. I've heard it's like a fantasy film that like kind of hints at like older kind of stuff, which sounds kind of neat, but it's basically based on vibes right now that it sounds neat. Think Abrams has lost any sense of directing because almost everything I've read is all of Disney was working to make Force Awakens happen and be what it was. And I do think Force Awakens is a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's a very good movie. But like you can tell like all of Disney wasn't working for him for Rise of Skywalker because he had to direct that on his talent, and I don't think that worked out. I've long thought that Abrams was not the director people thought he was. I think he was more Michael Bay with glasses on, and I think people figured it out eventually. But it was like kind of obvious around Star Trek. Like he's not very good. He's not a storyteller. He's a guy who wows you and is good at casting, or has a good casting director. Um, all right. In other cool news, there's this film called The Behemoth. It's Tony Gilroy's next movie. It's about Pedro Pascal plays a cellist, and I think he wants to get into film composing. And apparently, there are 7 different composers, film composers, which will collaborate on this film and be the different films that he's working on. So it sounds really cool. I've heard various people could be involved, but whenever Tony Gilroy's Behemoth, that's the plan, is to get 7 different film composers involved. That sounds fucking awesome. Um, his Mission Impossible is good, but I don't think it's as good as anyway. Okay. Okay. Oh, so in other Netflix news, apparently, although they are not buying, hold on a minute, 1 second. Let me fix. The cats are like, oh, Nico's like sleeping right down here. She's like cute. All right, they messed up the sound blanket. I just wanted to fix it. Okay, this is another thing I want to talk about. I guess we have like a half hour, so maybe I'm not as bad as I think I am. I know the bingo thing. And any super chats is appreciated, as we should say. I guess I'll let this flash during this, and then we'll turn it off until we get to, um, I guess 40, and then Godzilla does the roar. Um, what's it? So Netflix, apparently they are not taking the linear cable channels. If you didn't know that, like they're all of them, like even Cartoon Network, although they're taking the intellectual property, they're not taking the networks. I'm not sure how that all pans out. But this is about Turner Classic Movies. They are going to take Turner Classic Movies. They do plan to do something with that brand. I do know they do have programmers and stuff, like they did their Hitchcock program at their various theaters, and they are looking at, because they've just acquired like a ton, or are going to acquire a ton of a huge film library. They want to actually find a way to do it. It does feel like it is not as doom and gloom as people might think. They're trying to find a way to best emphasize their what they just bought. So it seems like they are going to keep Turner Classic Movies, and they are considering having a section on Netflix that is a Turner Classic Movies thing, much like how it is on HBO Max. Whatever that is, we're not sure, but they are taking Turner Classic Movies. So they're not giving away for everything else, because if you didn't know, part of the Netflix Warner's merger is Warner's going to split up into 2 separate things for the cable networks and the movie studio. And the one cable network they're taking with their acquisition is Turner Classic Movies, which I think is also because they have to placate directors and stuff like that, and they want to keep them happy. And it's also like a good brand. And if you own a huge film library like they do, I think it's a smart move to have it. But I do think, like, if you're going to do Turner Classic Movies, as someone who used to really be into that channel, please do stuff with the lesser known old movies. Do not just do the big ones. I think that's always the problem with that whole thing. And the other, hey, what's up, William Lemon? How you doing? So in Marty Supreme news, I think we're just gonna go over it. I don't think there's any way to do this otherwise. Supposedly, if you, this is a spoiler, but not, because it's everywhere. There was going to be a ending to Marty Supreme, because there's a line in the movie where Kevin O'Leary says, "I'm a vampire," which I thought is just a crazy businessman thing. It is not just a crazy businessman thing. Because apparently, originally, oh, we got to turn off the light until we get to further on that. This is a real. Supposedly, A24 was like, "Do not do this vampire ending." Supposedly, at the end, there was going to be a scene where Marty is going to a concert with his like daughter, and then Kevin O'Leary pops, and he's like in old age makeup, Timothy Chalamet. Kevin O'Leary pops out and bites him, which is like, what? I don't understand that, but apparently there's clues. This is like, I'm not even joking. Supposedly there are other clues other than the vampire line that Kevin O'Leary is a vampire, which I would, someone please make that video. I really want to see, like, what is the proof that Kevin O'Leary is a vampire? If he was a real vampire in the reality we're in, I would believe that. But I I love that A24 had to like, look, we are losing a lot of money on this. Do not make this a vampire thing. But maybe if they don't win any Oscars, I mean, maybe now all movies have vampires to win Oscars. Like, what if, like, just Hamnet at the end, Shakespeare's a vampire, and he wrote the Archie comics or something? I don't know, but like, you could have, maybe that will be the thing every movie. You know what? I actually like this idea that like the future now is everything has vampires in it. And someone just brought up that is the ending to Sinners. I was like, oh fuck, yeah, you're right. But they don't bite. What's his face? I hope they let that guy. He should come to the Oscars. Damn it! I listened to his music today. I can't remember. Anyway, the other thing is, this is sort of, we'll do Razzies, and then I should talk about the full Kathleen Kennedy thing, which sort of broke. I'm not that one broke like with this huge exit interview, like as after I left work, and I couldn't really go through it until after the show, so I apologize there. But this is one thing: is apparently various IP studios have met with Alex Garland, and Alex Garland. This is the one thing a couple people I'd heard this before, so I wanted to just mention it. They like Star Wars specifically wanted him, and other studio like Coogler apparently was kind of like Star Wars wanted him as well, and apparently he's not a Star Wars guy, is what Kathleen Kennedy said. But apparently Alex Garland is much more interested in Star Trek, which to me is actually a good idea. I think I'm sort of into that. So yeah, apparently he's basically said I don't want to do Star Wars, but he does want to do Star Trek. I actually like that idea. All right. Let me just make sure we did everything before we do the Razzies and then Kathleen Kennedy. All right. So this is Cineram's doing the timestamps. I'm sorry, this is so all over the place. Everybody give a shout out to Cineram. All right, let's talk about the other nominations, which were actually, I've been doing this show and talking about movie news for a while, and I've never heard the Razzies ever have a good year. It's like never happened. You know what I mean? And now, finally, Alex Garland is doing the Elden Ring thing, but I think Alex Garland's looking around at like after he did Civil War, he's like, doing originals suck. What if I make some money? And I get it. It's not really working out with 28 years later right now, but all right. Razzie nominations. This is the other. I'm using my phone because it always gets weird. So this is the first year I've ever seen the Razzies actually do a good job. Because normally, like the worst movie, like that last Die Hard one, which was horrible, they like don't nominate. And there's films that like almost everyone was putting on their worst of year list that they don't nominate, and it's kind of sucks because you're like, well, why isn't what is going on with the Razzies? Like, how can they mess this up so bad? This is the first year like almost everyone I followed was like, how are the Razzies good? So the Razzies, here's a worst picture: The Electric State, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is the weekend movie you forgot about, Disney's Snow White, Star Trek Section 31, and War of the Worlds. Honestly, I thought they would forget War of the Worlds. I'm not surprised by The Electric State, but I do like that. Snow White is an obvious target, but nobody liked it. Worst actor, you have Ice Cube for War of the Worlds, well deserved. Jared Leto, Tron Ares, The Weeknd, Dave Bautista in The Lost Lands, which was like a George R. Martin movie or something, and Scott Eastwood for Alarium. I don't even know what that is. Worst actress, you got Ariana DeBose, Love Hurts. Why is she in that? I don't know if I love that one. Mila Jovovich in The Lost Lands makes sense. Natalie Portman for Fountain of Youth. Don't even remember. Wasn't that an Apple thing or something? Rebel Wilson, Brideheart. Sort of remember that. Michelle Yeoh. That seems more traditional Razzies. They're just like punching down. But then you have nobody even knows. Worst remake, ripoff, sequel. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I fell asleep during that, so agreed. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I mean, at home, not in the theater. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which, I mean, it wasn't good. But I also noticed Shelby Oaks, robbed. No Razzie nominations for Shelby Oaks. Absolutely robbed. Come on. That's an easy one. No one's going to defend Stuckman now. Come on. He's probably why Wicked 2 didn't get any nominations. It's his fault. Anyway. Fred Nights at Freddy's 2, Smurfs, Snow White, War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds has got a sweep. Come on. Worst supporting actress, Anna Klumsky, Brideheart. Again, don't know. Emma Harvath, The Stranger Chapter 2. Okay. Stallone's daughter, just because she's there and they hate Stallone for guns. That just seems shitty. Man, some of the actor, never mind. Going through this, I forgot. But worst supporting actor. Here's some real all seven artificial dwarfs, Snow White. Nicholas Cage, Gunslinger, Steven Dwarf, Briehart didn't know he was in it. Greg Kinnear, Off the Grid, and Sylvester Solarium. I mean, still they just nominate him every year. But then worst screen combo. This one I liked. Uh uh Worst screen combo. All Seven Dwarfs, Snow White. James Corden and Rihanna, the Smurfs. I forgot they're both into it. Ice Cube and his Zoom camera were the worst. Okay. Robert De Niro and Robert De Niro for the Alto Nights. There we go, baby. And The Weekend and his colossal I'll hurry up tomorrow. That was pretty good. I'm gonna give him that. Worst director. Again, War of the Worlds, Richly. I did tweet out that it was the guy who directed the Chris Pratt movie because on his Wikipedia it said it gives him credit for War of the Worlds, sort of. So it's my fault. I should have looked into it more. But it is he did produce both, so which is hilarious. The Section 31 person whose name I can't pronounce. The Russo brothers got a worst director. Mark Webb got a worst director. Worst screenplay again. War of the Worlds is the sinners of the Razzies. I want War of the Worlds to sweep. Ice Cube, come on, show up, man. Please show up. Show up. I just think, but man. Ah, wonderful. I do think, Shelby Oaks. I think he should. Come on. Come on. Don't they mean all seven magical creatures? Is that what they refer to them in that fucking movie? Should I have seen War of the Worlds. Should I review it? I guess. How about chat? If I get like 5, you should. Cheers to you, Nathaniel Fogo. I know it's low hanging fruit. Maybe the Electric State I'll save for Avengers Doomsday. I've seen that too, but I mean, it's like I really do think Mercy should be sold as from the creators of War of the Worlds. It sucks because now when I say War of the Worlds, no one will remember the Tom Cruise thing. They're all just going to be thinking about Ice Cube. Which I guess if I review that, would be the first War of the Worlds I've reviewed. All right. Those were the Razzies. I think going through it wasn't as good as I remembered, but all right. Let's go through the Kathleen Kennedy thing. Then box office, then we'll take a break. I apologize that we're running long tonight, but there's a lot to talk about. So let's Kathleen Kennedy. Card red, I love that. Kathleen Kennedy stepped down. This was expected. So a part of me was like, is there more to talk about? But she did this exit interview, which sort of made it into a story. The one thing I'll say about, a couple things I'll say about Kathleen Kennedy is one, she's the last person Lucas picked to run Lucasfilm. Filoni and other lady, I didn't write her name down. I'm sure we'll talk about them later. They were picked by Disney. If you do not like Disney running Star Wars, congratulations. That's not getting better. Because Kathleen Kennedy had power as a producer. She's, I think, one of the most nominated producers Oscar-wise of all time. She produced, her first producing thing was E.T. She has a lot of power. She could say, we're not going to theaters for a few years so while we figure this out, and the studio would shut up and listen to her. I do think the quality of Star Wars is going to dip way worse than she was there. However, I think my biggest issue with her was not that there was feminism or something. It was really that although she did develop certain directors and make them a lot bigger, look at what she did with Tony Gilroy and Andor and Rian Johnson specifically. Almost every other director she picked was just a really big director and an obvious pick. And I don't think she was good at picking directors to do stuff. She really, Abrams is a really boring choice. What happened with Solo kind of showed me that she was just picking who's the big director, which was Phil Lord and Chris Miller, which wasn't exciting. Their movie would have been exciting, but you could tell she was just like, who's big now? That guy. Okay. And then obviously it didn't work out because these guys aren't Spielberg. And they weren't doing a Spielberg movie, and she obviously did not want different kinds of Star Wars movies, but she just thought people would just do that, which was a stupid move. I would say also Rogue One was a bit of a disaster. Although everyone worked together on that, I think it's like Garth Edwards or whatever, he actually worked with the production to get that to work. He deserves more credit for that, and that worked out eventually. But it's like, a lot of the people she picks, like Simon Kinberg and Abrams and the Ron Howard Solo thing and all that. I just have never really been impressed with like when she was constantly like buying up like newer directors who were hot. It's like you could have done a lot more with what you had, but she didn't. But I think we'll see Filoni. I think everyone will get sick of real quick because he's really a fan running things. And if you've seen the Star Wars stuff that's made by fans, it's never as exciting and interesting, particularly if it's true that he doesn't like Fandor. Uh, uh, I mean, he's a good choice to direct. I think he did direct, not plausible. You're right. He was a good choice for Force Awakens. I don't think he was a good choice for Rise of Skywalker. I don't know who should have done Rise of Skywalker, but it shouldn't have been him. I know Colin Trevorrow's script, but Colin Trevorrow's not a good director. But she had been playing this for a while. She has worked on the Starfighter and Mandalorian Grogu, and she did talk about how Steven Kinberg is working on something which many people believe to be Episode 10. What that means, who knows? She did confirm we will get Daisy Ridley back as Rey. Disney is very much pushing the Rey thing, but like literally, this shows you how much power she had over stuff, and this is the one people are using. I'm not a theme park person, but they kept Darth Vader and all that stuff out of the theme parks. And immediately when she said like I'm out, they're like Darth Vader's in the theme parks immediately. So Brad Bird should have worked out with that too. Um uh she did say she also said that there are scripts from Donald Glover has turned in a script. Taika Waititi's apparently still in development, according to her. But she also said she wants to go into AI, so I'm a little like fuck her for that. Um, but the James Mangold movie does sound like it's on the back burner as soon as he did the thing with Chalamet. But it does sound like they're not really moving very quickly. So if you're a director and you're like, hey, what's going on with Star Wars? Turn my script, and they're like, oh, maybe in 4 years, people are going to move on. The only rumor that I found interesting is apparently Disney did uh, pitch to her being the producer of Avatar going forward, which, considering how big she is industry wise and everything like that, kind of makes sense. But it sounds like she didn't say yes to it. But we'll see. We'll see if there even are other Avatar movies. It doesn't sound good right now, does it? All right, now we'll talk about box. Okay, we're doing okay. We're not. Anyway, I mean, I think the timing of the theme park thing is why people read into it, and I think we have to agree that was a bit of a crazy. Like it's like, she's leaving, she's doing her exit, it's effective immediately, and then they're like, all right, it's like you can obviously read into that, and Disney knew what they were doing, but I also am like, it makes sense. I think it's like if you bought it, the original ones are, that iconography still lives on. So, all right. I guess I'll do my usual super chat reminder. Sorry to keep bringing it up so much. Um, but yeah. All right. Let's talk about box office. And yeah. So, this weekend, it was Avatar's fifth weekend, remains at number one. With only 17 million, and this is the whole weekend box office. Um, Many people thought 28 years later the Bone Temple would beat it. I think the reason it did not, honestly, is because it's a weird horror sequel, not a straight horror sequel. I also think like it came out too soon. I just don't think it was even a good idea, honestly. But it's sort of a weird movie, so I sort of get like why it didn't take off as much. But most people thought that would be the film to dethrone Avatar. I'm not exactly sure what is going to be it because is there anything really coming out? I can't think of what's coming out next weekend that's really gonna, or this coming weekend. It's like Mercy. Yeah, I don't know. I Return to Silent Hill are the only two wide. There's a big chance Avatar holds for a sixth weekend. At this point, it's not looking great, but it might just beat it by default. But it really didn't do well. A lot of people are using the comparison to the Marvels, as you had one film that did a lot better, and then Nia DaCosta directs a movie and doesn't do as well. I think also Nia DaCosta does not make like straight typical sequels, which I think is more interesting. Honestly, I think I like the Marvels more than Captain Marvel. I don't know if I really like hey Daniel Rodriguez. I love you too. I don't know about if I feel that way about the Bone Temple, but it was interesting. I'll have a review eventually. But it did open. The other one opened at 30 million. This opened at what was it? 14. Not good. That's half. That's bad. The third one is still happening, which they highly insinuate, but they have approved it. I'm not sure how much these cost, so there's that. But it is sort of a weirder movie, so we'll see how this all shakes out. Next weekend will be interesting, but it'd suck if that Chris Pratt movie beats it. Zootopia 2, which is the highest grossing Hollywood animated movie and the second highest grossing animated movie ever. Oh, thank you, Mandela Butterfly. Cheers to you. It also fell. It's not really showing me. What's going on? Being weird. Okay. It also only went down 8%. So Zootopia 2 is doing insanely well. It's made 390 just in America and made 1.7 worldwide. Is at this point I really do think uh I really 100% think Avatar 3 will not beat Zootopia 2, which is like not what I thought would happen at all. And it's in the top 10 worldwide of all time. Taking out Jurassic World is now not in the top 10. I don't, a lot of people are doubting it'll get much further than where it is, but Jurassic World is no longer in the highest grossing top 10 of all time. Taking out no more Jurassic World, it's Zootopia 2. Housemaid continues to do well. I think it is the, after Zootopia 2, it only went down 21%, which is still amazing. And actually lost only 22 theaters, less theaters than Zootopia, which is also amazing. It's made 107. I haven't seen it now. I wish I had. Marty Supreme is now A24's highest grossing domestic movie and fourth when it hasn't made 100 million, but it'll be, there's only four movies that have. It's like The Materialist, Everywhere, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I forget the other ones. Oh, the Civil War, and people saying Marty Supreme will beat. Is it at 100 million? Oh, not yet. It's at 99. It's going to do it now. And then we had Primates kind of sinking, which is expected. But the Lord of the Rings re-releases. Fellowship of the Ring got in the top 10 and is now apparently, if you put in, I know Dan Murrell and other people said this, because if you, a lot of people don't realize this, when you re-release films, it goes back to the total, the box office total. And so based on that, Fellowship of the Ring on re-releases is now the highest grossing movie of 2001, which is interesting. Which I find it weird when people adjust Gone with the Wind for inflation, because they don't adjust all the re-releases. They just adjust it from 1939, which means I think Gone with the Wind would be higher if we really want to get into it, but whatever. But yeah, the January releases are like Primate and Greenland 2 are doing what they do. They're going down 58%. That's what they're doing. And then SpongeBob is depending on, it's either left the top 10 or at 10. It's at $67 million. It will be the lowest grossing SpongeBob movie of all time. I think that's it for SpongeBob in terms of box office, unfortunately, in terms of theaters, sadly. And David, the other animated film has left the it left the top 10 a lot and outgrossed SpongeBob, which sucks. Anyway, that is the box office. But it's interesting. Apparently 2026 is doing better than 2025 at this time, at least. But that's probably because you have an Avatar, you have a Zootopia 2, you have a Housemaid, you have a Marty Supreme, helping out the box office there. I'm curious if next year Doomsday will be able to do that too. But I do think what we're seeing here is the Christmas box office and the late July box office really hold the line for a long period of time. I do think like when we have Wuthering Heights, which everyone thinks is going to do really well, and the other bigger February stuff, this will start to bump up, but I just don't see anything else doing that. Oh, hello. I have heard of that. Wait, hold on. Let me look that up because that sounds so familiar, and I don't want to. Isn't that in New York? Blast of Silence. Hold on. Yes, wasn't this shot in New York on location? I have seen that. Hold on. What were you asking me, man? Rumble T says, "Have you heard of Blast of Silence? Is a 1961 American neo noir. It's a 1961 American. It's pretty good. I've projected that a long time ago. I remember that being pretty good actually. So cheers to you. Thank you for reminding me of that, man. That's in my old like um um watching more old movies. I kind of want to do more old movies reviews, but damn, they do not do well. That's kind of the I don't know, but I need to do them more because I do love old movies. I used to be so focused on that, but man, Blast of I think they shot that on location. If I'm thinking of the right movie, but I do have. When you say that movie, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. All right, well, let's do one obit, and then we're gonna. Oh, we ended up on time. I made such a big stink out of this shit. Well, not really, but all right, so we did lose a pretty big director. Okay, okay. What the? Okay, what is going on with there? Why I'm seeing so much? Google is sending me so much crap with the AI stuff. It's like, are you sure you don't want to use AI? I mean, think about it. But okay, this is a pretty big obit here. Oh yeah, Sam Raimi's new movie is coming out. That's true. And Arco is. I'm confused about the release of Arco because I looked it up and I thought based on when I looked it up, it said the 23rd, and then when I really looked it up, it's like, well, it's not actually going to be in theaters until the 30th. I'm like, then why are we saying the 23rd? Like, what is up with that? I don't. Confusing. Whatever. All right. The co-director of Lion King, Roger Allers, has passed away this past week. He's also famous for things like The Prophet. He worked on. He worked on The Little Match Girl, which I almost Brian wanted me to review, but I didn't. Open season, and honestly, how I know him a lot is the Sweatbox, the documentary about what eventually became uh, Emperor's New Groove. Uh, I think it's sad because I've always looked at him as a director who I wish got to do more. The Lion King is probably one of the more defining films of my generation. It was a huge, massive hit, and if you watch it, it doesn't play like the other Renaissance. I mean, most of those were done by those other directors, but I do think it plays differently. I do think he's a really good director, and I never felt like he got the due he should have, which happens to too many animation directors, sadly. But he really, I mean, Lion King is such an original, different vision. I do think he deserves some credit for that because you look at anyone else who worked on it, they never made anything quite like that. And I think part of that magic was him, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. I know I'm just mentioning this one credit, but that is a pretty completely fucking credit there. I'm sorry if it was freezing there. I think we're. It looks good for me now. I apologize. Um, I think because I opened it's a thing to say his name correctly. I didn't want to say it. Oh man. Anyway, if you've never seen the Sweatbox, you kind of have to look for it because Disney keeps not releasing it. If you want to see like what happened to that guy, it's a really good documentary. I have this is I'm sorry about that. It's frozen. It's frozen on the. Okay, well I'm fine now. I think it'll catch up to it. But yes, I highly recommend the Sweatbox. It is a great documentary. Probably one of the greatest films about making a movie ever made, and specifically animated movies. But he really should have gotten a better shift than he did. It's unfortunate Disney didn't. He never got his like. The thing about the Renaissance guys is all of them got kind of their artistic follow ups, and not him. And that's bullshit. Even though I love Emperor's New Groove, it's kind of bullshit how it's definitely bullshit how he was treated. And he's definitely one of the more influential. Sorry, Nico's sleeping down there. Directors. I don't think that film would have been the same without him. So it's very unfortunate how him leaving, his death and all that stuff, and R.I.P. to him. All right, I think I'm going to take a break because I don't know what's going on with Google and OBS and all that stuff at this point. I'm going to blame the AI. I have no information to base that on. Are we? I have no clue what's going on at this point because on my end everything's cool, but then what? Oh, OBS is frozen. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let me do the bumper. I'm going to fade this in. We'll just have this play for a little bit. I'm going to use the bathroom, and then we will come back and then we'll talk about Retirement Plan, which is just nominated for Best Animated Short. I'm hoping people can hear me. This is embarrassing. Thanks a lot, YouTubes. I hope, is everyone still here? It's not even like the views thing is getting all weird too. It keeps like going up and down. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hope is everyone still here? Oh man, this is wonderful. All right, it's getting out of hand. All right, I put the Is there anything I can close? All right, I put the thing up. I'm gonna take a break, and hopefully it will correct itself by the time I'm back. I'm hoping you can hear me and all that. Then we will talk about the short. Thank you all for being here. I'll be right back after this. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm not sure. It looks okay. I kind of don't want to stop it because then we gotta. Here, let's. Is it okay? It looks okay on my end. Oh, the break just started on your end? Oh my goodness. Yeah, everyone should hit refresh, I guess. Let me know if you can hear me. This is a bit much here. Um let me I'm not sure if any of that helps. But that was weird. I've never had it be this bad before. It kinda sucks. Right, Nico? If anyone can hear me, let me bring it up. Yeah, it looks like it is kinda delayed. That's so weird. Like what is Okay, let me hit refresh on.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Okay, well that is something. Yeah, Cineram is right. Please refresh, I guess. The music only played for a little bit. Man, I don't know if anyone can. It just delayed it? Oh my goodness. And now this. Why is. I have so much stuff closed. It's like kind of. Well, I'll just close the other browser. Oh, maybe I should. Okay. Apparently, I'm very, very delayed here. Hey, everyone. All right. I guess. Oh, I'm very delayed. Okay, this is very weird. All right, I think I've. Cool. This definitely caused a lot of issues. Um. All right. I think it's good. It just you're gonna see me be confused for a little bit. Super chats appreciate all that. Let me just do the retirement plan thing as soon as this comes down. I hope you all are going streaming Kick. All right. This is gonna be weird, so we'll have to. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write. I haven't done the retirement plan yet since this is really delayed. I'm gonna write questions below now for later, but just start. It's cool. So we don't get too out of whack there. What are you doing under there? Oh my goodness. I wish I don't think another cam would be a good idea with all this. All right, I'll just talk about the retirement plan. And is the thing? Oh my god. It's so delayed. It sucks. All right. So, the retirement plan. Let's talk about. Let me get my thing. All right. I turned off the thing there. Okay. Let me talk about the retirement plan. I'm going to use my phone. That's my. Technology. All right. Retirement plan. This is all right. Today we're going to talk about. Let me get it all up. Since we're already it's already fucked up. Let's make sure I do this part right. Retirement plan. Any super chat would be appreciated. I guess at this juncture. 2025. Oh, tire mint. Irish short film. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about the recently Oscar nominated film called Retirement Plan. This is a film directed by John Kelly and has a narration by Domhnall Gleeson. This is also an Irish film. Um, this is I really like the design of the animation in this, which I think is really what you pay attention to here. But the other thing with this film is, I think if you've ever had a moment or a day off or some time and you're like, oh my god, I could do all these things, that's essentially what this movie is. Because as soon as you think about retirement, he lists off like, I'm going to read all the books I want to do, I'm going to play all the games I want to do, I'm going to, you know, meet that friend, have that conversation, do all these things. And it's just him listing off everything. And I think that says so much about humanity, because so much of us, if we have any time, we're like, I'll learn to make lasagna, I'll do this, I'll take that long walk I've always setting to do. And then when you really think about it and you have to do that, it really hurts. Okay, it really hits you that you're probably not going to do any of it, or you're going to run out of time, you're going to wish there is more time, and unfortunately there is not. And I think that is like kind of like the biggest thing about time and life and everything like that, is that that can happen to you, and that you can believe that one day you will have the time to be the better person you always wish you were, even if that is completely ridiculous. That, you know, to really think about that, you would accomplish every book you want to read, or play every game, or watch every movie, or make every little thing you wanted to make. Most of the time, that just doesn't happen. And I think you know, it's sad to think of life like that, but I think through this short you show the potential you could have when, I don't think I will ever really get to retire, but like most people when they get to retire will. Um and I think like when you look at it, that, you know, look at it and have all the things listed, it makes you question like your whole idea of, could I um eventually be the person I always wanted to be if I had the time? Or, you know, is the fault not that I had the time, more that who I am, or what I could actually accomplish or even want to accomplish? And I think that's um you know, the thing of having free time when you've always been busy is you think of way too many. I do that all the time. I think of way too many things that could never really truly be accomplished in that time. So I do think I did really like Retirement Plan, because yes, I'm not retired and I don't really know what that's like, and maybe I won't ever, but I like the idea of it. I thought that felt very true to me, because anytime I have like, oh, I might have a day to just myself or something, I will think of way too many things, and almost like get into like a sense of madness over the fact of all the possibilities of things I can do. So you really take a breath and think about, what can I actually do, what can I actually accomplish. And that this short film, what is good about short films, they're able to grab a little piece of life and make a film about it. And I think that very much showed in this film. I thought they did a great job. It's a nice little short, and I love the design of it, and Domhnall Gleeson did a great job reading off the narration. I thought it was an interesting little thing, and I'm glad to review it and talk about it, and talk about that little scope of humanity through it. All right. Again, I'm sorry that the stream got so weird. Before I do, I'm just gonna let this go, even though, because y'all been through enough. If you want to do any super chats before the end of the show, now is the time to do so. Man, I can't believe how much this like fucking YouTube, man. I really didn't have that many things going, so I'm a little disappointed. But we'll just have this going. But if anyone wants to, you still have an opportunity. I'm sorry it's so delayed. I do not understand. Now I can hear it going all crazy again. I don't understand, because nothing's up here. All right. Let me do. We're gonna go from the phone. Austin says, "Hey Jim, hope you're well." Sorry, hey Jim, hope you're well. Staying warm. I'm hearing it's cold in New York. My question for you is, do you think the new He-Man movie will acknowledge the canon Master Universe movie? I'm not sure. Do we know if they're gonna do a Dolph Lundgren reference? I was really curious about that, actually. If we're gonna get a Dolph Lundgren reference there, uh, I really don't. I don't know. I feel like you have to reference it a little, and I feel like they will, and especially with Travis Knight involved. But how much is the question? Will Frank Langella show up? Will Courtney Cox show up? Those are the real questions. But I think they will do something. I don't know. I don't think you get Courtney Cox, or maybe I don't think she would hate it or something. Um, I forget which person this is who asked before, but their name is always like crazy. It says Ernest goes to jail on Sordom. I forget who this is. Anyway, sorry, wasn't it Super Dusky? And he said, "Will you be checking out Iron Lung, Markiplier's new movie?" I've not heard about that, so probably not. But if people really want me to, I'm not against doing it. But I've not heard about it all. I know literally nothing. Nathaniel Fogo, what do you consider the best thing Kathleen Kennedy has done? I think both embracing Ryan Johnson and Andor would be a tie between those. Sinram asks for the pick of for the my pick for the most outrageous Oscar era was nominating both Daniel Kaluuya and Keith Stanfield for supporting actor. Normally, if they are co-leads of the same gender, one of them will be shunted to the supporting category. Cough, 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 Brad Pitt, cough. Also, who the hell did the Academy think was playing the main character of Judas and the Black Messiah? Good point. Jesse Plemons, ridiculous. I I don't want to say the term category fraud because I think it is a bit much. But I will say, yeah, I do think that was a little stupid. I also think like Lakeith. I don't know if Lakeith would want a win, but I think you mix it up a little bit. So, Marcel Torres says favorite costume in Avatar: Fire and Ash. Maybe the bad lady that the chaplain lady played. I would say that one would be. Then I have a super chat. I'm sorry if this is coming out delayed. It seems like that's what's going on. We passed the thing anyway. But William Allen said, "What is the most underrated Steven Soderbergh movie?" First off, cheers to you. Most of them are rated pretty highly, so it's a little hard to say that. I do have a fondness for Kafka. I've actually shot a review for that. So I want to say Kafka. I don't hear enough about the Limey, but that's got a lot of acclaim behind it. I think The Informant. I think Haywire. But again, like I hear Soderbergh people talk about these a lot. So it's a hard question to answer. But I'd say one of those. I almost want to say Kafka because I'm sort of ride or die for Kafka. Yeah, that's what I'm ride or die for Kafka. All right, let's go up to. Well, thank you. That's a good question. I do like doing Sonnenberg. I think I read both. I would like to do all the Sonnenbergs I really like, and Kafka is definitely, maybe at some point, say, oh, God, YouTube, you are, yeah, maybe that kick endorsement should kick in. All right, Cornbread. With Kenan and Kel Meet Frankenstein getting announced, what's another comedy duo who should meet Frankenstein? Oh, Key and Peele. It always bugged me that we only got one Key and Peele movie. Other than that, I can't think of like a other comedy. Meet Frankenstein. I don't know. The Wayans brothers probably would have fun with that. To be honest with you. So that is Zane Pirates is putting Darth Vader in Disney World defining the sanctity of the Star Wars brand and the personality offended by it. No, I think it's weird that it took them so long. I thought it was dumb to do it before. Austin, do you think Cornbread was snubbed for an Oscar? Absolutely. Best supporting actor. Zane Powers, reports say Iger's successor will be announced next month. Who do you think it will be? A lot of people are writing Kathleen Kennedy could do the funniest thing. I don't know. It'll probably be one of his acolytes or something like that. I honestly would not be surprised if he comes back again. Fucking, he needs to go away. I'm sick of that fucking guy. Austin, do you think Babu Frick should be nominated for an Oscar? Yes. Best international movie, obviously. What other 80s show should get a movie if He-Man is successful? Popeye and Son? I'm surprised if He-Man does well, Thundercats will happen. Mark my word. If He-Man makes $1 billion, it won't. But if it does, or does above, Thundercats movies happening. Absolutely. Zane Powers, thoughts on wanting more Indiana Jones? Apparently, that they had 2 spinoffs. I think the problem with Indiana Jones is one, it's referencing a thing. Or sorry, I didn't read that correctly. Apparently, they had 2 spinoff shows shelved. It's referencing a thing that like nobody remembers. Now they're remembering. It's referencing like pulp novels and movies, and like they never really found a way to update it for the movies from the different eras. I know they wanted to do that and never really worked. I just think it's like it's also the DP of the first three. Didn't he die? It's like to me like they should have left the three alone and like maybe done. If you want to bring it back, I know this is my answer to everything. Hire Gendy. Come on. Like who else is gonna do? Hire Craig McCracken or Gendy. Do an animated one. You're not gonna or Steven Summers or like I feel like there are people, but like I didn't see the Mangled one, but like anyway, at some point I'll do the Indiana Jones. But to me, it's like you have the first three, and then they like, and I don't mind the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, but anyway, um, Cornbread. I have a ton of gripes with the Oscars this year, not in the YouTube chud way. I'm happy for Sinners, but a big one is One Battle After Another getting two supporting noms. Thoughts? That was always expected, and you have two very acclaimed actors, so I think that's kind of the problem with it. The Weston here. What's the best DVD box set you own? I own the Godzilla Showa book thing is up there. I'd say I have Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray, or DVD or whatever. I haven't watched that enough. I have the Bruce Lee one and the UPA one. I think it would be between those two if I'm also the extended editions, but let me do can we do okay, Sinram says starting with Romeo and Juliet, Leo has been in 24 movies and been the lead or co-lead of 21 of them. Damn, I mean he's Leo though. That's to be expected, but damn, that's a lot. Cheers to you. Thank you for that stat though. It is I mean, once he became Titanic Leo, it's like he was never going to. Although I think he would do a good supporting performance if we're being real about it, Question: why can't you give the Dilbert cartoon a chance? Trust me, it gets good. It gets really good. 20 episodes in. I did have somebody get mad at me on that, but I have seen a bunch of them when it aired, but it never really stuck out. I think I could not deal with more of that. A lot of those shows I would just veg out and watch. I can't even deal with anymore. A lot of it was just MTV though. Will you be reviewing the previous Mamma Mia films? Sustain the hunger of your ravenous viewer base. What Mamma Mia? We want. You know what? My wife watches Mamma Mia every now and then, so I whenever Mamma Mia 3 comes out, I'll review Mamma Mia 1. I think that's I'm okay with doing that. Question: which Jimmy are you in the cult of Jimmy Crystal? um, I would definitely be the Jimmy poking holes in the cult of the Jimmys. Emblet question: whoa, 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 slow down. We're doing questions already. Well, it's just because of the delay, so I'm sorry. I have no clue what went on because I had nothing open, and it's embarrassing. I don't know. I do my best. I don't have a ton of it's just me here, and I it's nothing necessarily that I did, but it still sucks, and I apologize to you guys for that. I'm gonna like be doing dish finishing, cleaning up, and this fucking stream's gonna still be going. So anyway, it's ridiculous. I do think the short round idea was probably a better way to do it. But sorry, it keeps shaking. I keep hitting it. Zane Powers, when will they invent helmets that can let you absorb all the content of a movie and book in mere seconds? I would not want that. I like the flow of movies. I actually like going to the theater and like my phone's off and I can just like focus on this thing and put my feet up. Like that's amazing. I'd never want when people say that, like I don't want that at all. Let's see, what is your retirement plan? Death. Emblety Victor Frankenstein galvanizes corpses and disowns them. Herbert West, reanimator, puts solutions to them and is proud of them. Which is the true monster? I mean, Frankenstein. I haven't seen Reanimator in a long time. I need to do that. Question. Wait, woke He-Man? Didn't we do this one already like 3 times? What the fuck? He didn't even say by the power of Gay Skull. I have they do anything right. Guard, that's amazing. That is true. We do keep going through like the woke He-Man thing. They don't even care if they're repeating themselves though. The fucking okay, now I gotta go back up. Okay. What unnecessary AI tool is responsible for sabotaging your stream? I guess it's Gemini. I'm gonna assume it's Gemini. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. Remember the 80s weren't times just simpler back then? Breakfast cereal, good workouts, and He-Man. Those were the only things from the 80s, right? Yeah. The 80s nostalgia is very interesting what it omits. And if you ever, I have, when I watched The Natural, when I watched the VHS rip, when it played on TV, I was like, man, the 80s just like really ignored shit, like worse than the 50s. It is ridiculous. And like the boomers knew that. They just like put up with it. I was like, God damn, what the fuck? Cornbread with Del Toro's Frankenstein, Kenan Kel Meet Frankenstein, and a very young Frankenstein. Are we now in a Frankenstein's? Also, League of Lisa Frankenstein is good too. I need to review that, and I think I might around when The Bride comes out because I really love that movie. I've seen it a bunch of times. And anyway, um, but yeah, it we are sort of in a Frankenstein's. I would agree with that actually. Nathaniel Foga, think we will see Orko in the new He-Man movie? Yes, I think Travis Knight would do that. Frank got canceled in 2021. Who was Frank? What were we talking about? Oh my god, this is like. Anyway, not plausible. Isn't it strange that a cartoon about boring office life is now a, more appealing to kids than adults? I think that explains my previous. Yeah, it does. You said the personal. You said the personal tabloid drama of being a libertarian isn't enough to make you hate a celebrity. What about when they're known to be difficult to work with time? I don't really hate. I mean, I don't know. I think they're all kind of dicks in their own different way. So the Dubon Lunar, why did Die Hard go on for so long? I have no clue because it's a really simple concept. I think because 3 was like good and that like confused everybody. So I think 4 is like, yeah, but 5 each. Was Adam Sandler robbed of a nomination? No. Why has Star Wars gone for so long? Because it makes money, baby. That's kind of it. Anyway. I missed the end of your Cranksign question. Did I? I guess we're up to date now that you knew that. I am very confused. I thought I said okay. I am lost on how I missed the end of it, but I apologize. Ask me in the Discord on the main. I'll answer it. Is Romeo and Juliet a bad love story because they have no chemistry and don't act like a normal couple? I don't, wow. I don't think it is. I do think it's a little. I think people are mad weird about it. Let me just say that. Adam Wingard's Thundercats. Oh, I forgot about that. Will Creech ever show up at the Oscars? How do you know? Oh, again. Probably. I think he was involved in Hamnet actually. Why is he? I don't know. Al Vasquez. Sorry. What about cornbread and me meet Frankenstein? I like that idea. Cornbread and Modelo are flaming Frankenstein. Why is He-Man better than the other 80s toy franchise in your opinion? It was kind of the beginning of the post Star Wars selling your toy through cartoons thing. So I think that's probably why it gets as much attention as it does. It I also think it very much met the moment with what was going on with like it is sort of like heavy metal Conan the Barbarian for kids, and I think that's part of it. Also, it very much met the moment. But is it better? Like Thundercats has better animation. I think Transformers lived on for longer. I think it just like was very big at a very big fantasy sci-fi time and was very smart about when it came out and stuff like that. Is it weird that Steven Summers and Joe Dante hadn't directed a feature for over a decade and both of their last starred Anton Yelkin? That is a little interesting, actually. I also Joe Dante could probably do a good Indiana Jones, but his would be weird. But that's maybe what we want. Zane Powers question: I've got a hysterical woman in front of me. Is the only way to calm her down is to give her a smack? Oh Jesus, Zane Powers, come on, don't be doing that. Who is the nearest Q for the Dilbert show? I think he was in my comments section. Um, Zane Powers. I don't. No, don't. Come on, don't be joking about that. Zane Powers. If your kids will review animated movies with you, why can't you review Mom with your wife? I don't think she'd want to. Have you ever described an actor as a charisma vacuum? Jared Leto and Tron Ares. So I guess I have. Uh, I think we have this. Since we have K-pop Demon Hunters, should we have K-pop Frankenstein's monsters? I'm into that. And Zane Powers, will the new She-Ra cartoon remain the best He-Man property? Probably. Probably. All right, I'm gonna write this. Oh, should we have a K-pop Monster Mash? I'm down for that. Sorry for the delay. All right, I think that is everything. I apologize for whatever the fuck happened with this stream. I have no clue. I appreciate, you know what? We never did this in this post 40, so we'll just end it on this guy, I guess. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Now we have an excellent connection. But I'm not sure. I would like to do an Oscar nominations breakdown, like bonus stream, but it's very hard to schedule those and um, have the time, and like there's a bunch of other things I need to film and stuff. So we'll see if, or maybe next week there won't be any real news, and I can just really go through, because I like doing that for me. I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna write it either way. And now I hear the fan going for some reason. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll see you all. I'll see you all next week. Have a good week. See a cool movie. See. How about this? If there's an Oscar nominated film that you can see, and you have access to it, do that. See something different. You know, even if you don't, it's kind of the whole purpose of the Oscars to do this like thing and everything like that. Anyway, oh yeah, let me do the super chat. If you give a super chat after this, I will read it off next time, but I will after the stream ends, I will read it off next time for the record. But